Hello, good morning. My name is Iria and I am going to talk about London. I like London because I think that it's very beautiful, and I like London too because it has so many interesting and pretty streets and also many monuments and a lot of places to visit. I like London too because, in my opinion, people from England is very cool and likable. And I don't like London because the garbage is on the streets and it's a little bit dirty, but it's very pretty. I like the London Eye because there are like 45 minutes to stay in it, and you can saw all the city and it's very pretty. I went to London last summer. I love it, but I couldn't see the Big Ben because it was in works.
Good afternoon, my name is Maria and I'm going to talk about Earth. Earth, our home planet, is a world unlike any other. Everyone knows that the Earth is the best planet to live because it contains the best possibilities of life. Some of them are the temperature, the theology, the nature, the food, and in my opinion, it's a good place to change oneself. I like the Earth and live in it because it is the best place to be alive, and because it's made of several nationalities, people with a different origin, with different gastronomy, languages. I like that the Earth rotates on its axis every 24 hours, defining day and night, and it revolves around the sun 365 days that is a year, giving us seasons. The water we drink occupies 71% of the Earth. And there are many layers, but in my opinion the most important are we have is the atmosphere, because we can breathe and live thanks to her. The climate and the weather in the Earth are the best because in other planets, for example in Mars, it is very hot and it is impossible to live there. Sometimes in some seasons, for example in winter, it's very cold. In the poles are very cold. I like a lot of interesting places.
Good afternoon, my name is Lucia and I'm going to talk about the best continent in the world, Europe. The American continent is beautiful too, but young compared to Europe. That is why, traveling to Europe, you can be amazed by its medieval castles, as well as its mountains, rivers, forests, and so much more. And I would like to visit many places in Europe, but I only visit Lisbon in Portugal and London in UK. Portugal is a good place to enjoy the Mediterranean climate and to taste pastéis de Belém, which is a cream cake. It is done following a recipe of the San Geronimo Monastery, and nowadays the recipe is still secret. The UK is the perfect place to know more about the English language, and it's made up of 4 countries, but I only visited one of them, England, and exactly the capital city, London. In London, you can visit the London Eye, which is a big wheel. It moves very slowly, and you can see the magnificent views of London. And if you love the science and machines, you can also visit the Science Museum. It is a place where you can see machines of the steam engines to the first car, from early airplanes and motor space rockets.
Hello, I'm Nerea and I'm going to talk about Harry Potter. I started reading Harry Potter about my 8 years old because my cousin Alasni recommended me to read the books. Harry Potter has 7 books and 8 films. Because the 7th part is divided in 2 parts. My favorite character of Harry Potter is Draco Malfoy because I think he's a very funny character, and you study in Hogwarts if you go to a magic school. And Hogwarts is a school of magic that when you see, you say, oh, it's a castle, but no, it's a school of magic. And you have studied 7 years in Hogwarts, and in the 7 years you have 7 teachers of dark magics that anybody wants to tell us of dark magics because are a very, very bad examples of magic.
Would you like to visit the castle in the future?
I think yes, because the castle is so big and extravagant. I like it, yes.
Hello, my name is Daniel Campean and I'm going to talk about my country Romania. First, I'm going to talk about one famous story of Romania. The story is about a king that it was in the past that it calls Dracula. He was a very hated king because when he was king, he drank the prisoners' blood, and the people do a rebellion to kill him. Then I'm going to talk about the popular traditions that they are in Romania. One is called the post. In the post you can only eat vegetables and drink water because it's a form to say thank you to God for create all the things that we know today. Then we have some popular food that it calls sarmale. The sarmale is a cabbage and meat. First you have to prepare the meat and then you put in cabbage. Next you have to put in water like 10 minutes, and finally you put in the oven like 5 minutes, and then you serve with.
Good morning, my name is Andrea and I am going to talk about Europe. I am going to talk about Europe because I think Europe is the best continent in the world. Why? Because I think the European landscapes are beautiful. Speaking about the seas and oceans, I prefer the Mediterranean Sea, but I like all the seas. I love the museums in Europe because are beautiful and they have a lot of sculptures and paintings that are a history of the Europe or of Spain of one country. In Europe I have visited 2 countries, France and the UK. In France I visited Paris, the Eiffel Tower and the Louvre Museum. Then in the UK I stay in London and I go to the Big Ben and to the London Eye. In the future I want to live in Milan or in Barcelona. I will be a youth and I will be live in this city because I think they have a lot of works and I can have a good job. Okay.